So we just had to check that we could actually go into this pub because James is banned from a section of London.
This is where I'm still banned from. I didn't burn any flags, I didn't do anything really bad, but I'm banned for till 2024 from this area. Notice it's all the good places as well. Parliament, Treasury, Foreign Office, everywhere. All the fun places where you can go and cause chaos and we're not allowed to. So 2024.
He's coming back. Coming back on horseback. So, are you filming? Right, here we are at the arches. You can see up there. And if you stick your nose around this corner, you can see the pubs that we're about to head into. So the pub we're about to walk into was named after Cloudesley Shovell. He was an Admiral in the Navy, fought many battles, died in a tragedy. And this pub over here, stick your camera up, is the only pub in London to be split into two. So come down here from the cameraman and look up, pan up, and you'll see the same sign on both sides of the street. See?
You better be getting my good side. I've not been on videos for a long time.
James was just talking about how he used to like London, that you could see a lot of its history more clearly. But
yeah, even St Pancras station's changed. They've made it all modern. When you used to get the train from Leicester, you used to come in, everything was old. And then you look around all the streets in London and all these buildings. Now.
Yeah.
So, if we look on this sign here, come with me quickly. Look on this sign here, you see where it says our only London pub into Halves, right? So if we look back at this beautiful building, which has a lot of snob screens in it, and a lot of sailing memorabilia, thanks to the man who it was named after. And there's also an old tunnel, which we can't access, unfortunately, which actually connects the two, so they can just walk underneath as they see fit. This one's closed, but as you can see, it is stunning, centuries old, and it's got those old-fashioned cubicles. Look, I don't know if you can see in there, it's just reflecting onto me. But it's got those old-fashioned, beautiful cubicles, and a nice old-fashioned bar. But what I'll do quickly is tell you. Now, I couldn't memorise all of these, so I've got them written down. Come over here. So, basically, Sir Cloudesley Shovell was responsible for many, many warships, such as, this is how many he had: the HMS Phoenix, HMS Nonsuch, HMS James Galley, the HMS Anne, HMS Dover, HMS Edgar, HMS Monk, Irish Squadron, Lisbon Station, Mediterranean Fleet. The third, and in his wars were the Third Anglo-Dutch War, Battle of Solway Bay, not Solway Bay, 9 Years' War, Battle of Bantry Bay, Battle of Barfleur, Battle of the Spanish Succession, Capture of Gibraltar, Siege of Barcelona, Battle of Toulon, other work, and he was also the MP for the city of Rochester, which is actually a place that we have visited with the Castle and Cathedral and some beautiful pubs that will be coming out. But needless to say, Cloudesley didn't play games. Now inside, as well as a lot of wonderful ornaments, is actually a portrait of him. Can we see it? Can we see it from here? Just over there. Now, unfortunately, you have to ring ahead to film in this pub, but they don't mind us filming from the outside. There's a portrait of him. And something that people might find interesting about him, it's up to you, is one of the things that he did, which isn't spoken about too much, is he fought the Barbary Pirates, which was the North African slave trade, the Ottoman slave trade, the Muslim slave trade of non-Muslims, which we now know as the Barbary slave trade. And he was part of the regiment which was out to stop the Islamic slave trade of the Western society. They were privateers, and they would capture merchant ships, navy ships, whatever they could capture, because this was a way of enslaving its, not just its people, but its goods, I suppose. Another beautiful lantern as well. Now, he actually, he's buried in Westminster Abbey, but he didn't die there. He died in Sicily in one of the greatest tragedies to take place, if not, I think it's recorded as the greatest tragedy to take place in British naval history. He actually crashed into rocks on an island in Sicily with a fleet of his men, and it's said that up to 2,000 men perished. Some people say 1,500, some say 2,000. But he crawled his way up onto the rocks, where today there's a stone mount to say this is where he was found. And there's a rumour that he was killed by a woman for the ring on his finger, because to have got up to the mound he must have been alive. So how did he go from alive to dead when he'd survived the crash of the waves and the rocks? So there's speculation as to how he really died. But when he was discovered, he was eventually brought all the way over here to Westminster Abbey, where he was buried to respect all of the battles he'd taken part in. So come with me, cameraman, let's have a little look through here if we can and see the opulence of this wonderful place. Now, without getting yourself in the shot, come around here. Without showing these people, just down there is an awful lot of mirrors. It's absolutely beautiful. And it's a shame that I can't go in and show you all the pictures and memorabilia, but I think you probably get the gist of it. But this is why we list buildings, this is why we look after buildings, because they have historical value as well as culture bursting from the seams. Wouldn't you agree, James? Culture bursting from the seams.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Look at him, he's enthralled.
Architect.
Yeah, architect, you see what I mean? He wasn't even putting any effort. Look at this scumbag, look. First hand. Look, what's he drinking?
I'm drinking orange juice. Do you know why? Because alcohol poisons people's minds.
Well, what's he drinking? No, real men drink Scotch apparently.
God, you got through them quick. It's a full bowl of pork scratchings.
It's gone. That's what happens when I've not eaten properly. Now, give me one of those pussy sticks.
You say smoking a vape. Alex hates vapes.
Yeah, he calls me a vapist.
Yeah, what he said.
But look, this is what happens when you're a vapist. You have to carry things around with you like this.
The cameraman was saying the only time he's ever drunk an orange juice in a pub is when he's having breakfast in the Wetherspoons. So I think you've probably got to be from England to get that one.
Oh, it's been good. I like this. I'm enjoying my time in London already. Oh, that's who you are. Right, I've realised who you are now. I know who you are now.
Yeah. Talking to you.
Talking to you.
Talking to you.
The cameraman. I'm not going to say it. Or should I say camera woman? Sorry. I mean, who knows these days?
That's what I mean. We don't define the sex of our camera people. They're camera persons. Technically, camera person-age.
Camera people are the best people. They're the unsung heroes of getting all the footage, and they don't get enough credit. Now, this one's beautiful. Lovely brown hair.
Oh, she's
on
beautiful, isn't she? Honestly.
Proper rat as well.
Honestly, the arse on it as well.
I don't know. My missus and bathroom. Sorry, fiance.
Fiance. I'd love to own one. We couldn't own one because obviously.
Mate, what I want to work out is, right, this isn't busy now yet, so how does a place like this afford to stay open? Because it's obviously owned by either a chain or an investment management
Massively,
company or something, because the rent on the council tax alone on this place is
humongous. So since 1970, this has been a Grade 2 listed pub, listed building, which as you can see has lovely Victorian brickwork above it, nice apartments, and behind, as we mentioned earlier, has this wonderful arch. And as I've said before, if you're from America or from Australia, hopefully something like this gives you a reason to come here, as if you didn't have enough reasons already. But I know your countries are some of the most beautiful on earth, but you cannot fabricate history. You cannot, well, we know that history has been fabricated, but you cannot recreate something which is old, you know. The new doesn't do it for me. And I hope that this series and properties like this have opened your mind as much as ours. Anyway, James, say goodbye.
Bye from the fat man.
Think for yourself. Someone's got it. Right, so Mr. Goddard desperately wanted a pie and mash. Here we are at Mansley's.
I had this for 3 years. 2019 was the last time I had pie.
Right, so let's see if it's just as good or any better than when you remembered it. Come on. Yeah, they have a lot of filming in here, so they'll be used to it. Yes, please, buddy. Yeah. Look at this. Old school liquor. So Sangmore had his first bit the other day. Mandy's is actually the oldest pie and mash shop consecutively running. It actually has something up there saying the oldest surviving eel and pie house. But, yeah, I don't eat the eels. There is some contention over the oldest pie and mash shop. This is the oldest running pie and mash shop.
We're happy now. Wait,
Well, it goes right down the end. I've got to get us some cutlery.
Was it in Tahiti? Were we on the Nile? Long, long ago, say an hour or so, I recall that I saw your smile. I remember you.
You've been defeated, James.
I had some pork scratchings earlier and I think they're...
Yeah, well, I'm nearly there. We're getting there. We're doing well. Pie and mash posse.
Blue sky smiling at me, nothing but blue skies do I see. Bluebirds singing a song, nothing but bluebirds all day long. Never saw the sun shining so bright, never saw things going so right. Noticing the days hurrying by, when you're in love, my how they fly. Blue days, all of them gone, nothing but blue skies from now on.